Alright, so this is going to be my 2024-2025 NBA Award Ballot. I looked it up and I think they're giving out awards starting Monday, so pretty much today when this video comes out. So I wanted to make sure to get this out as soon as I could. But yeah, getting started here. We're going to go over the awards. We got MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Man of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year. As well as I will go over the all defensive teams, all defensive teams, all NBA, and all rookie teams. So, getting started with Rookie of the Year, our candidates are Stephon Castle, Alexander Sarr, Jalen Wells, Zachary Rasacher, and Zach Edey. Again, all these guys are certainly deserving of it. I think the betting odds are certainly favoring Stephon Castle, and I'm gonna have to ride with Stephon. I think he's had the best season of all these guys in general. I think he's the highest scorer out of all of them. He's actually been fairly efficient. His three-point percentage is pretty low, but you can kind of get past that. He's been pretty good this year. Next up for Defensive Player of the Year, there's been a lot of movement here since, of course, Victor Wembanyama got injured and is now ineligible for this award. Evan Mobley and Jaren Jackson were leading for a while after he got injured, but then Dyson Daniels has had, some movement, and Draymond Green's been the leading favorite for like the past few weeks, close to a month. So this one is probably the most up in the air in my opinion. But personally, I'm going to actually go with Evan Mobley here over Draymond Green. I do believe the Cavs have the best defensive rating in the entire league, and historically, Defensive Player of the Year a lot of times does go to the best defender on the best defensive team in the league, which that would be Evan Mobley in this case. Moving on from there is the Most Improved Player. I'm kind of torn on this one as well. Candidates here being Ty Jerome, Ivica Zubac, Cade Cunningham, Christian Brown, and Dyson Daniels. I think the odds are leaning in toward Cade Cunningham or Dyson Daniels. Personally, I don't think it's going to be either one of those guys. I think literally any of the other three guys would make more sense than Cade and Dyson. Ivica Zubac is averaging almost 20 points and 10 boards a game. Not quite 20 points, but he's certainly improved quite a bit. Ty Jerome has been really good this year, and Christian Brown has jumped from like 7 points a game to 16 points per game. So my pick is actually going to be Christian Brown for that reason. He's more than doubled his points per game. I know that for a fact. He's been very efficient. I've watched a lot of different Nuggets games this year, and you can just tell that he has improved a lot. Next up is the Sixth Man of the Year. You got Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, Peyton Pritchard, Malik Beasley, and Russell Westbrook. DeAndre Hunter was leading the whole time when he was in Atlanta. He's kind of dropped down a little bit since going to Cleveland because, again, they also have another guy on this list in Ty Jerome. But personally, I really don't think it's going to be between anybody else besides DeAndre Hunter and Ty Jerome. Malik Beasley's been really good. Westbrook, he's been all right. And Peyton Pritchard, of course, has been solid. But I think it's going to come down to one of those Cavaliers players. And personally, I think I got to ride with DeAndre Hunter. He's leading the whole time in Atlanta. He was doing pretty good in Cleveland as well, so I'm just going to stick it with DeAndre Hunter. Moving on from there is the Clutch Player of the Year. This one I really never know what to think of, but we're going to look at the candidates: Jalen Brunson, Nikola Jokic, Trae Young, Anthony Edwards, and Stephen Curry. It's kind of hard to make your own prediction on this because you kind of have to look up your own stats on who has been scoring this many points in clutch games. Like I just kind of look at the odds for this one and usually just ride with that because I don't really know what else to do. And the odds are usually looking like they're leaning towards Jalen Brunson, and that's who I'm going to pick. I don't really have enough knowledge to pick anyone outside of the favorited guy in this award. Moving on to Coach of the Year, we got JB Bickerstaff for Detroit, Kenny Atkinson for Cleveland, Tyronn Lue for the Clippers, Ime Udoka for Houston, and Mark Daigneault for the Thunder. Certainly all have a case, right? JB Bickerstaff, the Pistons have massively exceeded expectations. Kenny Atkinson, took basically the exact same Cavs roster and made them like 15 wins better. Tyronn Lue, they've been doing a lot better than expected in LA. Ime Udoka has this Houston Rockets team almost 20 wins or even more better than they were a year ago. And then Mark Daigneault, of course, having 68 wins is really, really good. But personally, I think Kenny Atkinson's been leading the race for pretty much all season long, and I don't think you can go against him. Like, he has almost the exact same roster, whereas most of these other teams, have had a lot of roster turnover in the last year, or at least someone like Ime Udoka, they have a young roster who you kind of expected to take this next jump. Nobody really expected Cleveland to be this much better this year. running back the exact same roster when none of them are necessarily young guys who you would expect to keep progressing. So I think it's pretty much clear-cut Kenny Atkinson. Moving on to the most important award here, the most valuable player. You got Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, Tatum, and Cade Cunningham. Everybody knows that this award is going to come down between just Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Jokic definitely has the case. He's averaging a triple-double. Probably the most efficient season of his career. Probably the best season statistically of his career. But the narrative is leaning towards Shai. He's the best player on the best team by far. I think I have to roll with the narrative and say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Nikola Jokic definitely has been the best player in the league this year, but historically the MVP award does not always go to the best player every season, because if that were to happen, LeBron James would have probably like 12 at least most valuable players, and Michael Jordan would probably have double digit as well. So that's not a very good argument saying that Nikola Jokic is better than Shai. Yeah, but does he deserve the MVP more than him? It's really a touchy subject, but I'm going to have to give it to Shai. Moving on to the all-defensive teams. The all-defensive first team, I have Draymond Green, Dyson Daniels, Evan Mobley, Amen Thompson, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Most of this is pretty much like cut and dry. Draymond, Dyson, and Evan Mobley are 100% locks for this. Amen Thompson and Jaren Jackson, you could argue some other guys for sure for those two players, but personally, I think these guys certainly deserve it. Amen Thompson's been great, averaging over 3 stocks a game, I believe. Jaren Jackson, averages almost 2 blocks a game on limited minutes as well, so he's been doing pretty good. Moving on from there, we got the second team being Jalen Williams, Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, Jaden McDaniels, and Ibaka Zubac. Now, this is all forward and big man heavy, which I know a lot of people don't like. They like to think that the guards need more love, which obviously you can argue that. But I think these guys have been better defensively than those guards. So I'll have some honorable mentions coming up here in a little bit, but definitely arguments against some of these guys, but they've been great as well. So you can't really take anything away from these guys. But moving on from there, we have our honorable mentions being Lou Dort, OG Anunoby, Derek White, Tumani Kamara, Andrew Nembhard, and Jarrett Allen, as well as having some guys like Chris Dunn and Jalen Brown, Victor Wembanyama, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis, who have not played enough games to qualify. Chris Dunn has technically played enough games. We have to play 20 minutes in every game for him to qualify, and he has played a lot of games at like 18 and 19 minutes that don't technically qualify towards a 65-game minimum. But moving on from there, we have the all-rookie team. So all-rookie first team, I have Stephon Castle, obviously, Jalen Wells, Alexander Sarr, Zach Edey, and Khalil Ware. So one thing to note is that we have 2 Memphis Grizzlies guys on this team. Also, there's no game requirement or minute requirement for the rookies. So I'm not sure if any of these guys played less than the requirement, anyways. But I just wanted to note that for you guys. I think this one's pretty much set in stone. Like Stephon Castle, lock, obviously. Jalen Wells, lock. Alexander Sarr, I think, is a lock as well. Zach Edey, Khalil Ware, you could argue some other guys there, but they've been doing really good. They've, been really efficient, averaged a high amount of rebounds, and a decent amount of blocks as well. Moving on to the second team, we got Zachary Satcher, the number 1 overall pick, who it's not even going to make the all-rookie first team, but that's whatever. And then you got Yves Missy, Dalton Kennett, Donovan Clingan, and Mataz Buzelis. So certainly could argue quite a bit of these guys not deserving these spots, but there's really not that many rookies that were that good this year. So there are a lot of rookies that were like solid, but there's not a lot of rookies that were like really good. Moving on to our honorable mentions, we got Carlton Currington, Tristan Da Silva, Kaishan George, Jamal Shedd, Isaiah Collier, and Kyle Filipowski. But now we got the All-NBA teams. All-NBA first team here. It's going to consist of Nikola Jokic, obviously, Donovan Mitchell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jason Tatum. I really do think this All-NBA first team list should 100% be these 5 guys. I don't think there's much debate against any of these guys being not on the first team, right? Jokic and Shai are locks. Giannis, I think, is a lock. Tatum, I think, is a lock. Donovan Mitchell is a guy you maybe could argue, but he's also the best player on the second best team in the entire league. He's been really, really good on both sides of the ball, honestly. And, you know, looking at the guys, there's also a lot of guys that don't meet the games qualified as well. So I think Donovan Mitchell should be a first team lock. All-NBA second team, we got Jalen Brunson, Evan Mobley, Anthony Edwards, Stephen Curry, and LeBron James. So Jalen Brunson played exactly 65 games, so he got very, very lucky because he had that ankle injury and missed a few weeks towards the end of the season, and he came back just in time to get the game requirements so that he can be on this All-NBA second team. He's been really good, though, when he's been in. Evan Mobley's been amazing. I have him winning Defensive Player of the Year as well, so being Defensive Player of the Year and being an All-NBA second team, he is the second best player on the second best team in the entire league, so that's a pretty good argument there. Anthony Edwards has been amazing. Stephen Curry and LeBron James obviously have both been amazing as well, like they always are. Moving on from there, we got the All-NBA third team, having James Harden. He's been better than I expected this season for sure. Domantas Sabonis averaging almost 15 rebounds a game, leading the league there, being pretty efficient as well. Tyrese Halliburton, he definitely, statistically, he's a little bit worse than a year ago, but he's actually been relatively close to his production last year, which he was an NBA player a year ago. He started the year off pretty slow this year, and he has since then kind of played a lot better and brought his numbers back up. Then we got Karl Anthony Towns, who's been really good and really efficient in New York. And then Cade Cunningham, who's been amazing in Detroit. A lot of honorable mentions here being Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Jalen Williams, Alperen Sengun, Devin Booker, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, Pascal Siakam, Jared Allen, and Jaren Jackson Jr. And then a lot of guys who have not played enough games like Damian Lillard, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, LaMelo Ball, Kyrie Irving, De'Aaron Fox, John Morant, Paolo Banchero, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Davis, and Kawhi Leonard. A lot of those guys would definitely be in consideration for an All-NBA team. Those bottom five guys, or bottom six guys really, Luka, Embiid, KD, Wemby, AD, and Kawhi, would very, very much be in consideration for an All-NBA team had they had played enough games. But that's going to be it here for the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check out my other NBA videos that will be coming out this week, and goodbye.